call it a gender-bending celebration of women in music.
Sense of humor, exciting sex.
It's a project about music and Paul's story and gender, defining gender.
His Venus as a boy.
It's a great acoustic lineup with lots of wonderful instruments, acoustic instruments, backing up Paul Diello, who's a wonderful singer as well.
A gender blending show, all women doing different versions.
He believes in her beauty. He's Venus as a boy. He believes in her beauty and shine light. He believes in her beauty. He's Venus as a boy.
What do we want to start with?
He does a lot of original material, a lot of original songs that are really lovely. But this show is a little bit different. He's doing a bunch of cover songs of female artists, female singers that he's really appreciated when he was growing up.
From there?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Let's just go straight into that.
Very interesting life story about Paul, but also about, you know, kind of like challenges that other people kind of may face that might be able to relate to the show.
I've been writing my own songs and putting out albums for like the last 10 years or so. But in the last couple of years I've kind of wanted to do some projects with other people's songs because I'm such a big fan of mainly female singer-songwriters. That's been the soundtrack to most of my life. And so I wanted to celebrate that, and the idea came to me whilst I was living in Berlin a couple of years ago to do this show. And it was just going to be almost like just a cover show really. I wanted to just rearrange some of my favourite songs by female artists, but then whilst I was putting it together I thought it'd be really good to have a narrative running through and to tell a story. So yeah, I've been sort of compiling a load of memories and experiences that I had when I was growing up in a small town, just feeling a bit confused about who I was and my gender and how the music that I was really into and by how these female artists really sort of made me feel comforted in my childhood anguish, and so that's how the show became about really.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Darling for dollars, it's trying to find me. I wait for delivery each day till 3. So Lord, won't you buy me a color TV? Hey,
the last one really focused quite heavily on young childhood. We're now sort of moving into the teenage era
Okay.
in terms of stories.
Getting saucier.
No, not saucy, it's a family show. Difficult compiling the list of artists that I wanted to pay tribute to. It's difficult because there's so many that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I'm quite an obsessive person when it comes to music, and so to whittle it down to just sort of enough songs to be a 2-hour show was quite a task. But I really wanted to choose musicians and people that have been sort of key moments in my life and my stories.
So I've known Paul for a long time now. I know it's something very close to him, which I think comes through at the performance.
We just feel like a family. We've known each other for so long now, and yeah, we've rehearsed loads, and yeah, every time we rehearse we just get closer and closer.
I've been best friends with Paul since I was 14. We've been like singing together since we were 14, and I was always sort of in his bands when he was doing his just normal, like his solo songwriting, singer-songwriter stuff. And then he said, I want to do something that's covers, and I want to do like a proper epic show for the Fringe, and I want it to just celebrate all of the female artists that I love and explain the story of my, you know, growing up and feeling a bit, you know, weird and out of the loop and everything. So I said, brilliant idea, and that was it really. Got a bit excited, and then it kind of happened.
That's really nice.
I think we all have feminine and masculine traits, and how that balances is the interesting bit. That's the fun bit, and how we sort of use that to contact different parts of ourselves and different parts of other people. I think that's a really interesting and fun thing to do.
I love the creative process. I love what we're doing now, rehearsing. That's one of my favorite bits of the whole process. I love playing with these guys. They're amazing band. I love the ideas that we steal off each other, and the learning process. I always feel that at the end of the process I'm a better musician and more fulfilled.
Yeah, definitely on the minor. I think that's nice.
Songs and think, oh my God, I can't believe that's a song I haven't heard in, maybe a long time, maybe 20 years, and they'll think, wow, I remember hearing it. Or maybe even now, saying 20 years, it's probably more like 30 years now, actually, how time flies.
The most contemporary person, I think, is Alanis Morissette, which is sort of 1990 6, I think, so it doesn't really get any later than that because the story certainly doesn't end there, but those were the main sort of teenage years.
It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you've already paid. It's the good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought it figures? Mr. Play It Safe was afraid to fly. He packed his suitcase and kissed his kids goodbye. He waited his heart out life to take that flight. As the plane crashed down, he thought, well, isn't this nice? And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? Like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you've already paid. It's the good advice that you just didn't take. And who would have thought it figures? And life is a funny way of sneaking up on you when you think everything's okay and everything's going right. And yeah, well, life is a funny way of helping you out when you think everything's going wrong and everything blows up in your face.
This show is great for so many people, and a lot of people that are kind of, you know, scared to maybe admit that they're not feeling comfortable in their own skin will maybe come and see this show and realise that there's other people like that out there. So I think it's brilliant for that.
I still think it is relevant what Paul is doing because he's sharing his real life story, and if you are not specifically from that from the LGBT community, maybe you might not have experienced that. Even if you're open to it, maybe you haven't touched the life of people that went through that. So I think it's very relevant. It's
more about the celebration of the music, really, in the context of a less gender binary show, basically.
We do like a girl group medley, so there's like a 50s medley, which really reminds me of the time when I got my first record player. My granddad gave me a load of 12 inches. So there's some Diana Ross and the Supremes and Leslie Gore and I mean, I had a really happy childhood, and I've got a lot of really good memories. But also, as growing up in the 80s and 90s in a small town, feeling confused about my gender and stuff was difficult. And so it's really important to turn something that was quite hard into something, into art. You know, it's been really cathartic, and it's brought up a lot of stuff that I didn't realise was kind of still buried down there. Epicene means to have characteristics of both sexes, or to have neither characteristic of either sex. And it also means to be an effeminate man. So I just thought the word perfectly summed up the show. I think it's more a sort of a trip down memory lane for people who have also been through what I've been through, or people who know people that have been through a similar thing.
On the top of the house, there we go, there's the band.
It's kind of taken him a while to kind of get over it, get through it, kind of find himself, and then be able to put that story down onto something that he's willing to open up and share to everyone else.
Just raising awareness a little bit about how people feel about gender, and that it's not something to be taken for granted.
Oh, I wish I was born a man, so I could learn how to stand up for myself. Like those guys with guitars I've been watching in bars, they've been stamping their feet to a different beat, to a different beat, to a different beat. I will not pretend, I will not put on a smile, I will not say I'm alright for you, and all I wanted was to be good, to do everything in truth, to do everything in truth. You bloody motherfucking asshole, here it comes. You bloody motherfucking asshole. You bloody motherfucking asshole. You bloody motherfucking asshole. Louder. You bloody motherfucking asshole. You bloody motherfucking asshole. You bloody motherfucking asshole. You bloody motherfucking asshole. I will not pretend, I will not put on a smile, I will not say I'm alright for you.
He's telling little snippets of his life, and in between songs, and he's connecting the songs to his life story, basically. Somehow he weaves his life story and music together.
When I became a teenager, it seemed that all of my dreams were finally coming true.
Yes!
I looked down at my chest and these 2 lumps were growing, and I was becoming a girl. And the boys at school were equally delighted as well.
Paul Diello's got bitch tits, he's gonna need a bra.
I am gonna need a bra. So I rifled through my mum's drawers, careful, and I pulled out a black lacy number, and not a white lacy number as I thought last night, but she told me she didn't actually ever have white bras. But you didn't have them because I used to steal them. And I put it on under my school shirt and under my school jumper and wore it to school. And what a heady mix of pride and self-consciousness, which I think is, quite authentic. I'm sure that's how most girls feel when they start wearing bras to school. Anyway, it turned out that I wasn't getting tits, I was just getting fat. Dear God, life ain't kind. People getting born and dying.
The atmosphere is really warm when they play. There's a certain energy that he brings to things because he sets up the whole thing himself. I mean, he's such a driven individual.
So don't you stop being a man. Just take a little look from outside when you can. So when it's all tenderness, no matter if you cry, give me a reason
I don't want to give away the ending of the show, but what I'm basically saying is that I'm just really happy being me, and that I hope other people can take something positive from that.
Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing. Say women, they will come and they will go. When the rain washes you clean, you know.
I'm hoping that the message that I'm giving across is that although it can seem really, really hopeless when you're a child, that, you know, when you, and everyone, it doesn't need to be about gender, it can be, you know, every child goes through some sort of confused state, not knowing what their place is in the world. And what I'm saying is that, you know, it gets better, and you know, everything hopefully is going to be okay, and that music will definitely help with that.
Oh, my life is changing every day, in every possible way. And all my dreams, it's never quite as it seems. It's never quite as it seems.